Hello everyone, this is Matt. I am going to play Command & Conquer Generals today. Yesterday I posted my first video where I played a Let's Play of the last level of Command & Conquer Kane's Wrath. Today I'm going to be playing Command & Conquer Generals. This game was actually, it was the first, I take that back. I'm playing Command & Conquer Generals 0 Hour. Let me rephrase. Sorry about that. This game was the expansion pack to the original Generals game series. It was released in 2003. It was the first EA exclusive, like EA solely created and published this game after they shut down Westwood Studios, and I think it was 2002. It was right after they released Renegade. And this is what I'm playing today is the expansion pack to that, 0 Hour. I don't really play the original Command & Conquer Generals game very often. I generally play 0 Hour simply because it fixed a lot of the problems that Command & Conquer Generals had. The Command & Conquer Generals series, both Generals and 0 Hour, like I said, were very controversial because of it being the first EA exclusively produced Command & Conquer game in the series, or in the franchise. I enjoyed it. I know there were a lot of gameplay differences from the original Command & Conquer games, but I enjoyed those changes. I didn't really have a problem with this series. I know a lot of people did. That's fine. You don't have to play these games if you don't like them, obviously. What I found interesting is a lot of people like Command & Conquer 3, but then hated Generals. But what I think is kind of weird is the Command & Conquer 3 game took a lot of stuff from the Generals series and incorporated it. So if you don't like Generals, I'm not really sure why you like Command & Conquer 3, but hey, you know, if that's what you like, go for it. Today I'm going to be playing a map that, what I'm going to do, I want to demonstrate my own playing style, so I'm going to be doing this on a skirmish map instead of in a regular mission. There, of course, was a series of missions, and what set 0 Hour apart from Generals was 0 Hour actually had video cutscenes. Generals did not, and that was another big change that people hated about Generals. You know, when I played through Generals, I didn't really care. I didn't care for I didn't care about the cutscenes in 0 Hour. It was a change that I really didn't care about. Now, there were a few changes in 0 Hour that I did like. I'll go through them as I play the skirmish map, but the main reason I want to play it is I want to show off my playing style, and a playing style that I like to call aggressive turtling. I know that sounds like a contradiction in terms. I'll get into it as I play this map, and I hope you guys enjoy it, and bear with me. Like I said, my first recording that I released yesterday, my LP, it was kind of rough. I apologize. I hope I made some changes today to the settings on my recorder. I hope this works better. But hey, trial and error. We're going to learn together. And any suggestions you guys have to improve these videos, please put them in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. Please be productive with your criticism. Constructive, productive criticism. So let's get started. As you can tell, I'm going to play against my own faction. I'm a China versus China. I just kind of like that. It's fun. It's a little more challenging for reasons I'll get into in just a minute. I'm going to do the hard army, of course. And I'm going to do a map that actually kind of helps me show off my playing style strategy. So let's get started. And like I said, if the recorder skips some or is slow, I apologize. I've tried to adjust the settings, so hopefully that won't happen. But we'll see. We'll see how it works out. Okay, I'm going to build... Okay, this is one change a lot of people just absolutely hated in this series, or I guess technically sub-series of the franchise, that you can build anywhere, as long as you have a construction unit, in this case a dozer. The US and China have construction dozers. The GLA, which is like the terrorist Al-Qaeda-like faction, has these worker construction units. I like this change. It fits very well with my playing strategy. Some people don't like it, okay, fine. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it makes a big difference, but, like I said, you like what you like, you don't like what you don't like, and to each his own, as they say. Oh gosh, this thing. I apologize if this recorder is being really slow right now. Yeah, one thing I don't like about the General Series compared to Command & Conquer, like Command & Conquer 3, is for whatever reason, and no matter what I play this on, the way they program this is really awkward for graphics cards, and I've had a lot of problems with it over the years, and so it runs so slowly on my computer. Even like my desktop I used to have, it would kind of run slowly on it, and I had like an upgraded graphics card and everything, and I still had problems with it, so my apologies in advance. I'm gonna try and power through, and yeah, this is like running really slow right now. It's really annoying me.
Upgrade complete.
God. Okay. Now, many of you are probably wondering how, what I'm doing here. If I can get this, okay. Basically, what I'm doing is a strategy called aggressive turtling. Now, this only works in certain types of games. Certain RTS types. You have to do this strategy properly, you have to be able, well, do it at all, not even properly, just to do the strategy at all, you have to be able to build buildings anywhere on the map. If you can't do it, you can't really do this strategy. What I like to do is build up a bunch of defenses around my main base, and then around the critical, like, strategic points or where the resources are, build up defensive buildings there as well. Now, I'll get into the issues with this strategy in a minute as soon as they come up. Like I said, this map is really good for it because you've got several defense points you need to hold. And it's actually kind of a big map. For a two-player map, it's actually kind of one of the bigger maps, so that's something I kind of like about it. Oh god, this is running even slower than it usually does, so like I said, I apologize guys, this really does annoy me when it runs this slowly. Part of that I think is the recorder, but this is like kinda ridiculous. Come on. God, I'm down to like, actually this is the second recording I did. I started a game and then like it was running so slowly I was going to try and screw with the settings and see if I could get it to work a little faster, but it's still running really slow. It's really starting to piss me off. Okay. Oh, another change that really pissed a lot of people off. The mouse clicking was different in this game. Like if you want to like build something or tell a unit to go somewhere, you left click, and the other Command & Conquer games use the right click. People freaked out about that. Number one, there's a setting in the options where you can actually go back to the traditional Command & Conquer click style or click setting. So I'm not really sure why this was such a big deal for people. I don't really think it mattered, but that's just me. Yeah, people kind of freaked out about this game. Like, they really just talked about how much they hated it and thought it was stupid. And like I said, if you don't like it, that's fine. You don't have to like this game. I understand. Is this like a groundbreaking RTS game? No, not really. It's pretty mediocre, if I'm being honest. But it's not, I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's like the worst Command & Conquer game ever. Like I said, I think if Westwood had made this game, it would have been better overall, but this isn't bad. This isn't a bad game. But, and if you don't like it, you don't have to play it. There's no law that says you have to play this game. Last time I checked. If there is a law and I'm wrong, please let me know. I don't know, people freak out about video games so much. I'm like, guys, it doesn't really matter. I mean, yes, EA pisses me off all the time for a number of reasons, but in the grand scheme of things, EA is like one of the least evil companies out there, believe me. I know some people hate to hear that, but it's true, and you know it's true, so calm the hell down. I mean, and don't get me wrong, in terms of like, you know, how they treat their workers, okay, yeah, they're horrible, but believe me, they're no different than a lot of other companies. In fact, actually most other companies, so calm the hell down. Quit being stupid children. Chilling. Simmer down now. Simmer down now. I used to love that SNL sketch with Sherry O'Terry. I think it was Sherry O'Terry. Yeah. I don't remember, that was a long time ago. Okay. Some of you are probably wondering what I'm doing right now, aside from spending way too much money, because apparently... Yeah... Okay. God, this is really running slowly. I mean, like, crazily. It's running very slow. Okay, I need 2 more there. I apologize, guys, for how slow this is moving. I really am. Jesus.
Lost.
And I just lost a unit somewhere. Where did I lose a unit? God, I had a feeling this like would run really slowly with commanding. Like it ran okay with Kane's Wrath, and I thankfully it did. But the big problem wasn't the graphics; it was the audio was really bad, and I apologize for that.
What do you have in mind? Something down there.
Okay, move this guy back a little. No, I want you to go over there, asshole. Okay. Move him here since it's pretty much. Now, let me see. Oh god, I hate those freaking... those MiGs. They can be kind of annoying. You pros are probably noticing I'm not teching up super fast. Like I'm just now building my war center or war factory, whatever. I'm focusing more on building defenses right now. And yeah, I know that's a lot of people like to tech up really quickly. China's not really. It's not like crap. China's like the kind of, they're not NOD, but they're not like the GDI of the like regular Command and Conquer series, in that they are more about mass unit tactics than technology. Beat your enemy with technology. Yeah, this is running insanely slow, and like I said, I apologize, guys. How slowly this is running. I'm actually running this on a dual display, and I think that might be part of what could be slowing it down. In future recordings, what I'm probably going to do is run this just on my laptop, single display, and see if that helps out a little. I think that might be. But this, I wouldn't be surprised at all if it's just the game. The way they program this was honestly not very good. Despite the fact that Generals or Command and Conquer 3 is a significantly older game, or sorry, Command and Conquer 3 is newer, is like came out in 2008, so 5 years difference between this game and this game moves so much more slowly. It's kind of ridiculous, but oh well. I don't even care really. It doesn't really matter.
Big plans.
They are really throwing a lot of MiGs at me this time. Kind of surprising.
Unit lost.
They usually don't throw this many MiGs at me.
We'll tear through their armor.
You assholes.
Is complete. We have big plans.
Alrighty.
Rocket soldier. We will live in prosperity.
I'm gonna upgrade this while I'm thinking about it. And they're really throwing a lot of...
China has been generous. I build for China. China will grow larger. Enemy tanks are
Okay, just a quick note for those of you who've never played this series before.
Congratulations.
Those
General.
flame units,
You have been promoted.
if you have any units garrisoned in a building and they fire on it, it'll clear out and kill all of your... Like in Command & Conquer 3, it'll clear out the building and kill all your units inside. So make sure you're aware, you do everything you can to destroy those flame units before they get to your buildings. The exception to that are bunkers. If a flame unit hits a bunker, it won't kill all the units inside. Which is kind of weird because in real life that's the exact opposite of what happens, but Command & Conquer is not exactly known for its realism. Well, the first game well, not really, but let's pretend it is. It's not really. It's a video game,
live in prosperity.
It's not really meant to be realistic, but that's okay. I like the first Command & Conquer game. The only thing I really didn't care for was,
We have big plans.
well, there are a few things I didn't care for, but I didn't like the fact they didn't really have a skirmish mode in it like they did in subsequent Command & Conquer games.
Building is complete.
And what's weird is they never re-released the game with one in it. There are a few fan-made releases that have it, but they never did in any subsequent Command & Conquer release, or re-release, so I don't know why. Don't really care. It's not the biggest deal in the world, it's just,
China has
I would have preferred it, but that's just me.
Let's take a look.
And damn it. Screw you, MiGs. I don't know why they're throwing so many MiGs at me. It's kind of weird, but I'm shooting them down, so it doesn't really matter.
Construction built to spec.
Now, as you notice my playing style, like I said, I build defensive units, or defensive buildings, should I say, around resource piles, or choke points to resource piles, not research piles, resource piles. And it's a pretty effective strategy as long as you have something to counter any and all artillery units. And this is one thing it's really annoying about playing as China versus China. Because,
For China.
okay, let me talk about one thing I really love about generals. They got the balancing right in this game. You talk about the original Command & Conquer series all you like. One of the biggest problems with it, especially the first game, balancing was so bad in it. The Nod faction was so underpowered compared to the GDI faction, it was ridiculous. Now, Generals kind of got this... They did a significantly better job in this series of balancing it out better. Now, Command & Conquer Tiberium, or Command & Conquer 2 Tiberian Sun, a little bit better about balancing, but still there were a few issues. The artillery unit kind of made up for the fact they did not really have a
lost.
super tank. Shit.
Make it real.
And I think that's an artillery unit that's shooting at
We
my
have
guys.
discovered an enemy Black Lotus.
These guns. Construction
Is it?
built to spec.
No, it's not. I guess that was just the... Okay.
You have a target for me.
That's weird. I don't know what the hell... I hate those flamies. That was kind of weird.
We will live in prosperity. That's a good choice.
Build some reserve units here just in case any more of them get knocked down.
Chinese Empire.
Alrighty. You know what? I'm gonna build a few.
Hail to their armor.
Just a couple of these guys.
Construction built to spec. The big target. Hail to their armor. China has been generous. China will grow larger. We have big plans. We will live in prosperity. That's not a good spot. Try another. Hail to their armor.
Okay, sorry about the silence. I was just concentrating on this. Okay, so basically, if you're playing as China versus China, and especially if you're playing as a sub-faction of China that has artillery units, which is two of them, of two of the three, the problem is you don't really have very good air units. Like, you have the MiGs, which can cause some damage, but to take out an artillery unit, they're not really that effective. You know, it's funny, I'm saying the MiGs aren't very effective, yet they keep blowing up my ground units. But, yeah, trust me, they're really not. If you want to destroy an artillery unit,
Enemy tanks out there. Hail to their armor. Construction built to spec.
like, especially the nuke cannon, it's actually really hard to do it with your MiGs. You need, like, all 5, they all have to be upgraded. It's actually kind of challenging and annoying, and I'm about to show you why it can be challenging and annoying in just a second, because there's one right now. There's 2 right now, actually. Let me rephrase that. Yeah, they're sending a bunch of artillery units at me. It's like, screw you guys.
Fly by. Who are they?
Come on.
Punish them.
Unit lost.
Shit.
China's rocket
Yeah, please tell me that got that. No, it did not.
The enemy.
Crap. Oh, freaking hell. Okay, I'm gonna need to borrow you for a minute.
Like a
Yeah, this is why this can be a little annoying. Even, like, China does not have a good air unit. Like, as a bomber, like, it doesn't really have a bomber unit, which is really annoying. Like, the Allies have the Aurora bomber, which is incredibly useful to take out those nuke cannons, because they're a pain in the ass otherwise.
Warning, a nuclear missile silo has been detected.
Okay, I don't know why it stopped.
reporting. Field orders complete, sir.
I don't really
Unit
care.
lost. We have discovered an enemy Black Lotus.
China's Air Force.
Oh, this is something else that really bothered people about this game.
Setting
You can actually build as many, super weapons as you like in this game. That's something else that bothered a lot of people. I don't really know why it bothered so many people, but it did. I guess some people thought it was kind of like cheating. The way I see it, if you have the money to pay for it, why shouldn't you be allowed to build as many super weapon units as you want? That's just my opinion. If you don't agree with it, that's perfectly fine. But
We'll tear through their armor. Let's build.
Unit lost.
Sorry, sir. I can't build it.
oh god.
We'll tear through their armor.
Okay.
Helix on the sea. Tear through their armor.
This is moving really slowly. It's pissing me off.
We'll tear through their armor.
Okay.
We'll tear through their armor.
You know what I'm gonna do since I've
Construction built to spec. We'll tear through their armor.
Many of you are probably wondering why I'm not deploying my own artillery units to this. There's actually a really good reason why. And I'll explain it to you in just a second as soon as I get some of this set up.
The thunderstorm begin. I like the tear through their
Basic.
armor is
Oh,
ready.
damn it. They destroyed the other one. Basically, okay, you set your artillery units to defend an area, right? The problem is the artillery units won't discriminate between targets. So if a bunch of tanks rush in and there's an artillery unit behind it, they'll target the tanks first, giving the artillery unit time to set up and blow your artillery unit away. And if it's a nuke cannon, the problem with that is it creates a chain explosion that can potentially damage your other structures, which is bad. So I generally don't deploy my own nuke cannons because I don't want to destroy my own structures.
Unit lost.
Okay, these guys are really pissing me off right now.
I built for China.
Congratulations, General. You have been promoted.
Helix on the scene. We'll tear through their something down there.
Okay. Well, I'm still winning, so... Yeah, I hate those nuke cannons. When I play this level, when I play any of these levels, I often will play a faction that doesn't have nuke cannons if I'm playing as China versus China. Seriously, it is really, really annoying.
We'll tear through their armor.
Okay. Oh, so yeah. Now, one other thing I want to mention, I didn't actually set... There is a setting on here where you can limit how many super weapons can be built. I never... When I'm playing against a computer, I never have it set. For one simple reason, it doesn't really matter. Generally speaking, the computer will only build one super weapon unit. There are a couple playthroughs I've done where it did build more than one, but that's like if there's a lot of money on the map. And considering I have control of all the other resource piles, there really isn't for my computer opponent, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, you do have that option. So again, another issue that really doesn't matter because there's an option that goes back to the old Command & Conquer playing style. So again, people, I'm not really sure what you were freaking out about, but it doesn't really matter.
China has been generous. No problem. That's a good choice.
Okay. Yeah, guys, again, I apologize if this is going really, really slowly. Yeah, this is kind of annoying how slow. I'm gonna go through the settings and see if I can find a way to get this recorder or this game to move faster. For like I said, in subsequent playthroughs, what I'm probably gonna do is just run this off my single display. I really think that's what's part of what's screwing things up, but. So, I apologize, this is kind of moving really slowly. I mean, this game often does move, and I am playing on a slightly... If I were playing on a smaller map, I think it would also probably move a little faster, but... Like, this is way slower than it usually runs, so... My apologies.
Let's tear through their armor. China will grow larger.
I think part of it is the recorder, but... Of course, I played Kane's Wrath yesterday. I really didn't run into any speed problems with it. Like, I played it as fast as I usually play it, so I don't know really what the issue is here.
Let's build.
Where's my air unit? There it is. Okay. Yes, destroy those.
Unit
anti-air.
lost.
It's our turn.
Yeah, bitch.
Building is complete.
That's right. Screw it. I don't know why I don't just leave this guy here. In retrospect, that would make the easier way to do it. Oh crap.
Yeah. What? Who no stops?
Okay.
Enemy tanks out there.
Unit lost.
Shit.
Thunderstorm. We'll tear through their armor. Need a bullet barrage. Construction built to spec. Here we go. China has
Take that
make
bitch.
it worth my time.
You know, I don't know why I just didn't set the choppers to defense mode. In retrospect, that was a stupid decision.
Nice location.
You guys probably like watch my videos and are like, "You are so." It's just say to yourselves, he is such an idiot. Like he does not know what he's talking about. It's like he's never played a RTS game in his entire life. And you know what the truth is? I really don't care. Again, in the grand scheme of things, being good at RTS games really not that big of a deal. I think my strategy actually is fairly effective. And I'll be honest, usually when I play this game, I don't play with artillery cannons. So, because I think they're kind of bullshit with the China faction. If I'm playing as like the US versus China or vice versa, it doesn't matter because, number one, if I'm playing as China versus the US and I'm China, my new cannon can destroy the Allies' artillery unit pretty easily. Hell, my air units can destroy the Allies' artillery units pretty easily. They don't have nearly as good range, so it doesn't really matter. It's only really an issue if I'm playing as China versus China, so... The main reason I'm doing it here is just I want to show you guys how my playing style works. Oh, one other thing I should have built this earlier, I don't know why I didn't. One of these towers.
China's rocket soldier. Yes, sir.
Okay, and that's why I didn't put that into defense mode.
Take it over there for now.
Because the other anti-air units will start shooting at it. And that's why that's a bad idea. And now you know. And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. I actually kind of like that show as a kid.
I can cripple their facilities.
Actually, I was a big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles person myself.
Tear through their armor.
And I was a Power Rangers fan too. And I'm psyched about the new movie. I saw the trailer the other day, and it looks really good. It's different. It's different than the show. It's way grittier, and I'm okay with that. I understand there's probably a bunch of nerds on YouTube or whatever probably screaming about how much they hate the trailer and how they're not going to see the movie and blah 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 blah. Like any of us really care what if you don't like the trailer, and you can feel free to tell us, but just like it's the intensity that comes with it. That's what drives me crazy. That I think is so stupid. It's like if you don't like the Power Rangers movie, you think it's too gritty or anything, that's fine. If that's your opinion, don't see it. Simple solution, people. Simple solution. Quit making things more difficult than they need to be. Believe me, the world is difficult enough. The world is difficult enough, so you don't really need to make it any more difficult than it already is. Alright, also in my videos, if you guys feel like I'm not explaining stuff right, or if I need to go into more details about certain things, please, by all means, leave them in the comments. I make these videos for you,
Our nuclear missile is ready,
Okay,
General.
my nuke is ready. Oh, this is a change from the regular Generals game that I really liked.
We have launched
In the
our
original
nuclear
Generals
missile.
game, or the first Generals game, I guess, before the expansion pack, you couldn't see where your enemies' super weapons were.
No system is safe.
So you had no idea where they were. You had to go looking for them. If you're the US faction, it's not really that big of a deal, because you have the the satellite general's ability, where you can just look around and find it. Every 60 seconds, you get the ability to decloak a certain part of a small section of the battlefield. The other factions don't really have that ability, so yeah, that could be kind of annoying. But they changed that in General Zero Hour, where yes, you do see where the enemy's super weapon is, which is nice. Very useful. I'm not really sure why they didn't have that in the regular first Generals game. They made some really odd decisions in that game, and I can see why there was a lot of criticism of it. And like I said, was it a mediocre game? Yeah, it really was. I don't really think it was a great game per se. Like there were other, like Total War. That was a great series. Very very complex series. Like the Total War series is basically like real-time hardcore real-time strategy, real-time tactics. It's actually a combination of the two, obviously, but oh, one other thing. I'm not really going through all the different units. I'm sure you guys can figure out for yourselves. Many of you have probably played this before, so it doesn't really matter. But I will go ahead and tell you one other thing that did cause a lot of controversy. Each side has their own resource building or unit. Well, building and unit. For the U.S. side, I think it's an Allies U.S. side, you have these little supply drop buildings. For China, you have actually units, not buildings. You have these
Upgrade
guys,
complete.
hackers. They will generate a certain amount of income, like it's like $6, or just $5 or $6 starting out, and then it builds up. But in 0 hour, you actually got a building to put the hackers in. It can only hold so many hackers. I think it's like, what is it? I think it's like 8 or 9. Sorry, I'm kind of viewing this from a slight distance. So, okay, it is 8. 8 hackers. Now, of course, once it's full, you can't put any more in. But they hack faster if you put them in this building. It's the Satellite Resource Center. And of course, the GLA has their black market, and that's a building. You know. So China starts out with just units, but in this 0 hour expansion, they get an actual building to put the hackers in.
There's always a way.
And that was something that caused a lot of controversy with Command & Conquer RTS fans, is that it kind of turns into an RTT game, because you don't actually have to go out and collect resources. At a certain point, you can just manufacture your own resources. And this was a change I really didn't care for, I didn't care about. I was fine with. I actually like RTT
Upgrade
games
complete.
myself. I like RTS too, but I like RTT as well, so it didn't make a difference to me. Again, if you didn't like it, fine, no problem. Oh, one other thing about the Resource Supply Center, or what was it? Hold on. Computer Center, I think is actually what they call it. Internet Center, I'm sorry. One other thing about the Internet Center, it has an ability where you can get a satellite view that'll every so often will show you the entire map, which is a really nice ability. I like it. It's very useful for me. One other thing, you get these. They're general abilities. Throughout the game, as you gain experience by killing other units, you gain access to all these abilities. I won't go over all of them. But the new cannons, you actually have to get the general's ability to build. You can't just build them, yourself. You have to get the general's ability. You have to select it. I didn't really select it because I don't really care for the new cannons. It's not really something I use a lot. The EMP pulse will send a little plane out that'll launch this bomb or drop this bomb that short circuits all electronic. It basically short circuits all buildings and units, so they're unusable for a period of time. What I used earlier to destroy the enemy's nuclear silo, these artillery strikes, which are very useful, and this is the carpet bombing ability, which is also very useful. These allow you to steal cash from your enemy's supply centers. And again, not going to go over all of them, just going to go over the ones I will sometimes use.
What? Install the bunker. We're going to ruin somebody's there.
Okay, so I'm pretty secure right now. I've pretty much secured all my guys and my bases, and I've got my resources taken care of, and we're doing pretty well right now. So right now, there are two ways you can wrap up these types of games once you have everything secured and safe. One way is to just build a crap load of tanks and tank rush your enemy. Another is to build a crap load of nuclear missiles and blow the hell out of your enemy. Or some combination of units and missiles and whatever. Oh, one other change with the Command & Conquer Generals series that pissed a lot of people off. Oh, besides the sidebar, command bar being at the bottom instead of on the side, What, of all the complaints, why? And that's probably the one that people freaked out the most about. Why does that matter? Why does it matter if the command bar is here or here? Please explain that to me in the comments. If that's, I don't know why this was such a big deal. That's probably the one thing that everyone freaked out the most about. I don't know why. Again, people, doesn't really matter. That is probably like the most minor change that everyone cared about, and whatever. But anyway, another change that pissed people off is you can actually build multiple units at the same time. If you have 3 or 4 different war factories, you can build, you have several different construction queues for that building. So each building that you manufacture units with, you can have its own construction queue in there.
Always a way in.
I love that change. I hated that in the original Command & Conquer game where you could only build one. You could only build one. You had only had one infantry building queue, one vehicle building queue, and that was it. If you're building, you could only build one unit at a time. I hated that. I love the change. That was another change they made, and they brought from Generals into Command & Conquer 3. Because you can build, like if you have multiple MCVs, you can build different buildings, or if you have a construction crane, you have multiple building queues for buildings. And of course, your war factories, you have building queues for each war factory. I love that. I thought that was a great change. I'm glad they incorporated that into the actual, the original Command & Conquer series. So, again, another great change that they did incorporate into the main franchise, or main series. So, obviously they liked it enough to bring it into here. So, Generals was a very big transition for the franchise, and it was a great transition, or incorporated a lot of great ideas into the series. So, not really sure why it gets so much hate, but whatever. Doesn't really matter now.
No system is safe.
I don't really think people look back on this game and really just say, "Oh, it was the worst game ever. I hate it." Just at the time they did. So, I don't know. In the comments, please, guys, tell me what you think of this game. Seriously. I mean, if you hate it, just keep the rhetoric, reasonable. I mean, I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world, but if you hate it, tell me why. Give me the reasons why you hate it. I agree with you. It's not is this the best Command & Conquer game out there? No, it's not. I would say probably the best is
Okay, give me a
Command & Conquer 3, honestly.
set up there. There's always a way in.
Tiberium's Sun was actually pretty good. I actually like Tiberium's Sun a lot. A lot of people thought it was, I don't know. I think a lot of people just kind of thought it was forgettable, but it actually was pretty neat. The original Command & Conquer series, I did like. I think it's awesome. There was some, like I said, some really big balancing issues. One thing they tried to do in Command & Conquer, and I will give StarCraft credit for this, even though, yes, StarCraft came years after Command & Conquer. I don't know why everyone says StarCraft was the first RTS game. It wasn't. Command & Conquer technically wasn't either. Dune 2, which was also made by Westwood, which made the Command & Conquer series, is generally considered the first modern RTS game. But it wasn't even the first RTS game either. There was another game before it, and I'm sure there was a game before that. So I don't really care about tracing his absolute history to see which one was the very first. Depends how you define RTS. But anyway, one thing I will give StarCraft over Command & Conquer, they really did a great job of creating different factions that played differently. I love that. I thought that was really neat, and Command & Conquer tried to do that and didn't really succeed. The playing style of the Brotherhood of Nod, it really comes down to just building better tanks and artillery units. That's really the problem. Was they tried to create a kind of guerrilla-like faction, and it just didn't work in the end. Because your objective for both sides is to find and capture resource areas. And you can really only do that with effective unit and vehicle, infantry and vehicle units. So, yeah, I don't know. They tried to make two different factions that played very differently, and it just didn't work out that way. StarCraft did. StarCraft had, between the Protoss, the Terran, and the Zerg, they have very different play styles, very different strategies. I'll give them that. I'll give StarCraft that. They actually did succeed where Command & Conquer failed in that respect. So... Now, Generals... I think Generals did it a little bit better. The balancing was way better. China, even though, both China and the US have their own, tank units, they're kind of similar. Well, not similar, but this is kind of like the Mammoth tank from the original Command & Conquer series. And believe me, it is very powerful, but it can be defeated. That's one of the other reasons I like to play as China versus China. You face the same units, so it's not like you have an inherent advantage over your opponent. But the US faction actually has some really powerful units itself. Their Paladin tank is very useful. Their snipers are really, really cool. They can kill, a unit in one shot. Their Aurora bombers are just excellent. So they did a lot better on the balancing and creating some very unique, factions. I think the GLA is still kind of underbalanced, but that's just my opinion. But it makes up for it by having two other factions that are actually pretty well balanced themselves. So, okay, I've already gone through all my money, I think, or almost. Yep, all of it. But I've got my internet center, so it doesn't matter. And some more. I've actually I've had playthroughs of these maps where literally I have half the map covered in hackers. Here's the thing: at a certain point, you really do kind of lose money by investing in more hackers. So, actually, screw it. I'm gonna build another war factory right here.
We have big plans. That's a good choice.
Okay, it's quiet. Too quiet. I thought I built that. I guess I didn't. Okay.
I am big. This is the Overlord.
Oh, by the way, your Overlords, you can upgrade them with one of three different things. Either a bunker that you can garrison units in. I never use it, but you can do it. A Gatling cannon to kill infantry, and a propaganda tower which heals the units. So what you basically want to do is build a group of Overlords. Sorry, it's the Overlord tank. And basically build a couple with Gatling cannons and a couple with propaganda towers, and you'll have a pretty damn formidable fighting force.
Our nuclear missile is ready, General.
And I've got my nuke again.
Construction.
I don't know where I'm gonna use. Actually, I know where I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna take out your internet
We have
server
launched
so you
our
can't
nuclear
get any more
missile.
money, and you guys will be screwed.
Gatling cannon is ready.
Yeah, guys, again, I apologize for how slowly this damn thing's moving. It's really, really annoying. And I'm gonna send you to blow that up.
Attacking ground forces.
Gatling cannon is ready.
Oh god, this is moving so slowly. So annoying.
What do you have in mind? Pull no stops. What do you need? Make it worth my time.
Black napalm upgrade is complete.
like a ton of bricks.
Now, one thing that does okay, look, I do this all the time. Whenever I like switch back and forth between either Command and Conquer 3 or Kane's Wrath or the original Command and Conquer games, and then I go to Generals, yeah, I admit sometimes I do screw up on the button mashing and hit the wrong. I hit the the right button when I mean to hit the left and vice versa. So yes, I get why that like change in the button configuration kind of throws people off, but again, don't think it's really that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things, but whatever. Oh yeah, by the way, China gets access to mines, so watch out. That could be kind of annoying. That's also why you want those propaganda towers, because they will reveal mines and hidden units. Oh, something else you get. You do get Black Lotuses. They are stealth units. They can go in and capture buildings, steal resources from your supply centers. So watch out for that. Gatling cannons and propaganda towers will reveal any stealth units. So make sure you do that. Okay, screw this. Screw you. Oh, you can upgrade your flame units too, by the way. To like napalm. That's right, you assholes. Okay, yeah, again guys, I apologize for how slow this is. This is like down to 14, yeah, 11 frames per second. That's just ridiculous. So usually by now I'm like through with this game, it's over. But not this time, unfortunately. I'm gonna go some area units for your support. Yeah, this game's also another part of my strategy is I like to use choke points a lot, as you probably have noticed. I'm big into using choke points. It's just an effective way to play. It's a really good way to beat a tank rush, which I know a lot of people like to use. But yeah, basically you cut your enemy off from the resource piles, or resources, and just, build up your own base while they can't build up theirs. And yeah, it's very effective. Oh, crap. I forgot to upgrade my units. Quick thing. Oh, God. I probably look like a complete idiot playing through this. Part of it is because, this game is moving so slowly, it's just annoying as hell. At your nuclear silo, you can upgrade your tanks to fire uranium shells, which gives them more hit power, and the nuclear tank option allows them to move faster. These two at the propaganda center, this will upgrade nationalism, which will upgrade if you get a bunch of units together that are either your basic level tanks or your infantry. They will, if there are a bunch of them around, they'll be more effective because of nationalism. Speaker towers, their subliminal messages will upgrade all your speaker towers, including those on your overlords. So you definitely want to have those upgrades. The nationalism will not work on your overlord tanks. It only works on the basic level tanks. Okay, what the hell? Why are you... Damn it.
Unit lost.
Shoot. Oh well. Crap. Okay guys, come on. I told you to go down there. Well, nothing matters now. Alrighty. Yeah, I've pretty much won this map. That was like the last of their forces, so... And I didn't even upgrade my stuff like I should have. Now I do have to watch out for any of their own bunkers they may have, because those will tear through your tanks, even your overlords. Like fully upgraded bunkers or bunkers staffed with rocket infantry, yeah, they will go through tanks like nothing, especially around choke points. So really watch out for those. Really watch out for those.
Extra large.
I'm gonna build a Black Lotus too. I don't think I've built one yet. Okay, I was just checking to make sure if I had any more.
Uplink cable's ready. Nobody will notice our money is missing.
Man, I went through a lot of money.
It is time.
Oh, there's actually some factions that have these mines. They're purple instead of red.
Nothing.
If your vehicles go over them, they lose their driver, and I think they're called neutron mines. And yeah, your vehicles are dead because there's not a driver inside. Now, if you can get an infantry unit to it, you know, he'll go in the vehicle and you'll get your vehicles back. But really watch out for that. If you see purple mines, blow the hell out of them before your vehicles go over them. Because believe me when I say that's really, really annoying, and you don't want to have to deal with it. Oh, China has also, their power plant is nuclear, so when it blows up, it's a small nuclear explosion. So yeah, make sure your units are not next to it when that happens. Now I will show you, these red mines do some damage, but it's not like, it's really not that bad. I mean, see, it took off like, you know, a little bit, maybe not even a sixth of the health. But it adds up, so, you know, watch out. You know, definitely be careful. You don't want to lose your overlords. They're very useful. You may notice I'm kind of holding back my choppers right now, just because I'm waiting till I get many of the power plants as possible.
We're going to ruin somebody's day.
So,
They look so small.
trying to see if there's any more. I think I got them all. Yeah, I think I did.
Is waiting.
Damn, I really took out their defenses when I had that nuclear missile strike. It's like there's like a bunker right there I gotta watch out for, but other than that, I'm sending in my choppers. They're gonna destroy the rest of them.
It's our turn.
Oh yeah, I think your choppers can also be damaged by the nuclear explosion from one of those power plants if they're too close. So just watch out for that.
I will take care of it.
And yeah, this map is pretty much over at this point.
We're going to ruin somebody's day. They look so small from up here. What do you need? It won't be long.
Where's my Black Lotus? There she is.
Transfer.
Sometimes I do this, like at the end of a mission, I'll actually have my guys go in to capture the enemy command center, just for the heck of it, even though it doesn't really matter.
It's our turn. Something down there. I am big. I will finish this.
Alright, I'm gonna wait till I get the artillery option, and then I'm gonna blow that bunker up, because I don't want to send my tanks after it.
This is the Overlord tank. Is that all?
Yeah, I know I'm letting my tanks hit those mines. I've got the propaganda tower around it. It really doesn't matter at this point.
What do you need? I will crush. This is the Overlord tank. I am in control. Extra large.
Alrighty. And once, okay, I'm gonna destroy this bunker, cause screw you.
Is ready.
Where's my Black Lotus? Oh, there she is.
What is it?
Yeah, like I said, guys, I do apologize profusely for how slow this game is moving. Normally, it doesn't move nearly the. I mean, it can be slow, but only if I have like a crap load of units on screen at one time. So, I'm gonna screw with my recorder and see, and my settings, and see if I can get it to move a little faster next time. I actually like turned the graphics settings way down, and it's still like it still didn't really do a lot. So. Okay, someone just messaged me, I don't know who. There's Black Lotus.
I'll get through. Let's do it.
What do you need?
Yeah, I want to show you how Black Lotus works. I don't want to go. Okay, good, she's close to the mines.
It is time.
Black Lotus can be a really useful character. She can capture buildings really fast, a lot faster than your. Oh, almost forgot. Your basic infantry. Either on the U.S. like let me show you, the Red Guards or the basic level infantry in the Chinese faction. The U.S. has the machine gunner, and the GLA has the rebel. All of the basic level infantry can capture buildings, provided they have the capture building option or upgrade. So definitely, you can use that, but it takes a lot of time for them to use it. So just keep that in mind. But the Chinese faction has Black Lotus, which
Our
can
nuclear
capture
missile is ready, General.
buildings really quickly. She can also steal money from like this supply center. If I sent Black Lotus over to it, she could capture them. She could steal money from it. I'm not going to do that because there's no money left probably.
We have
I'm gonna
launched
send
our
my nuke
nuclear missile.
to blow. I think that's the last. Those are the last buildings I think they have. So once I do that, this mission should, I think, be over. I don't oh, they have another supply center. Screw you, supply center. Yep. This map is my bitch. It's mine. I own it. I am the lord and master of this map. Alright. Come on. Okay. Guys, in the comments, if you have any questions or anything I haven't really explained in this playthrough that you'd like to know, let me know. Please, by all means. Some of you, or a lot of you, probably have never actually played this series because you were probably kind of young when it came out. Like I said, 0 Hour is a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I just won the map. I enjoy 0 Hour. I enjoyed the original Generals game a lot, but I liked 0 Hour so much. I just was like, screw it, I'll just play this from now on. As I recall, I like the campaign in 0 Hour a lot more too, but I haven't played the campaign in so long. I could save the replay, but I'm not going to because I've played this map so many times. Units lost. I only lost 30 to them losing over 200 units. Destroyed a lot of, roughly the same amount. Only lost 4 buildings to their 33. Collected significantly more resources than they did. So a pretty good playthrough. So now one thing I do want to go over real quick before we sign off. Before I sign off, I guess. You actually, like they did in Kane's Wrath, you actually have three different. Well, you have three main factions, and then within each faction, two sub-factions to choose from. You can either play as the regular faction or two specialized faction. If you're the U.S., or sorry, three. I'm sorry, I take that back. Three separate sub-factions. If you're the U.S., you play as the Super Weapon General, who has the particle cannons. That's the super weapon for the U.S. She gets them for a lot cheaper and they're more powerful. The Laser General, who has basically laser tanks, and their defensive unit is a laser. He's kind of cool, but he takes a lot of those laser units take a lot of power. Yeah, even the tanks, you have to have power generators for them too. The Air Force General, who has special Air Force units, has a special Aurora Bomber that's even more powerful than the regular one. But now each of these factions also have certain drawbacks, like the Super Weapon General. I don't think she has a tank unit, but her what makes her almost breaks her, like really overpowers her. She has these defensive Patriot turrets that actually have EMPs and can disable tanks at the same time they damage them. So she's actually really powerful. The Laser General does not. I think he doesn't have air units, and the Air Force General does not have tank units. The Chinese Tank General, he does not have an artillery unit, but he does have specialized. He gets the Overlord for cheaper, and the regular tank unit for cheaper. And the Overlord already comes with a propaganda tower, so you can upgrade every Overlord with a Gatling gun, and it'll have a propaganda tower too. Infantry General does not get tanks, obviously. He has like he's actually more useful than you think, because he gets battle bunkers that can fit like I think 9 or 10 people inside, and all of his infantry are already upgraded. They're a lot faster. Black Lotus can download stuff a lot faster. The hackers are faster, just faster, more powerful infantry units. So he's actually a lot. I like him a lot. He actually is kind of cool. He does have the artillery option, artillery units, and the Nuke General. Name speaks for itself, obviously. He has the basically. Oh, one thing the Nuke General has, he of course gets nukes for a lot cheaper. Yeah, cheaper. He also gets a nuclear bomber. His MiGs have a nuclear option that can drop small tactical nukes. Basically, kind of like what the nuke cannon artillery unit has. The GLA, I never play as the GLA, like, ever. I don't think I've ever actually even played as any of these sub-factions. I think the Toxin General is sort of like the, super weapon general of the other two factions. He gets, there's Scud launchers, that's the GLA super weapon, for, a lot cheaper. Demolition General, I think his tanks are more powerful or something, and the Stealth General has more stealth units or some crap. I don't know. Truth be told, I don't really play the GLA like ever, so just Google it if you want to be sure. But I think, as I recall, that's what they get. So anyway, that was Generals. A lot of fun. I'm probably gonna do more playthroughs with with Generals if I can get the settings better. I'm gonna screw with them and see if I can get the frame rate up to, like, ideally at least around 30 or 40 instead of the 8 or 9 it's at right now. So, alright, thank you for watching, and have a great day.